Hello and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. There's all kinds of family. We chose this one. This is episode 267, Fast 5, Lap 12. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe 2, and this episode is brought to you by Vibra Energia. Their energy vibrates towards the future for all your Brazilian diesel needs. Check out Vibra Energia.
Well, shout out to Vibra Energia and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. With us tonight to continue her lap-long journey on this very podcast, we have Jessica Collins, a.k.a. Montez. Hello, Montez.
Hello, family.
How are you doing this evening, Ms. Montez?
It's been a journey. I cannot tell you how many times I have actually watched this movie, and
More than once, though. Wait. When you say how many times you've actually watched this movie, do you mean like in the last 2 weeks or like in your life?
In my life.
Okay.
I hate to tell you, this one is very forgettable.
So that's
forgettable.
Crazy because this is almost universally considered the best, like hands down, like not even a little bit.
I was watching it this time, and I was thinking to myself, Joey, as I'm like putting it on, I was like, there is no way that any other of these films can touch how good this one is. That was the sentiment that I had watching it as it started this round.
So Montez, I gotta get in your broken brain because you loved 4, you don't like 5. I don't understand what goes. But before we get there, very important question for you. We, the three of us, pull off an immaculate heist. We steal all the money we could ever want. We go to Rio, we go to Monte Carlo, we go to Las Vegas, we go to Atlantic City, wherever we want to go. We go to the roulette table. And you're like, I'm going to put it all on, I'm just feeling real good. I want to double my money. Are you betting it all on red, or are you betting it all on black?
I'm going to put it all on black.
Is there any reason for that?
I like the color black.
Okay. You are a goth girl.
Yeah, good call.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for acknowledging.
Yes, of course.
I'm riding with you, lady.
I see you.
Black always.
No, Joe. No. You have both because Gemini. It's established. You are both. You have both. You're the only person in the entire spreadsheet who has 2 little emojis there because Gemini nature.
No, I meant black. Black
as a color. Sure. Yes.
As a color, as a clothing choice. Black always.
Unlike Amber,
it's a lifestyle.
Black is the color of your energy.
Exactly.
What very, very little energy you have left as your old man of a husk at like 33 years old or whatever.
Truth.
All right. Before we talk about Fast 5 and prove Montez wrong, Montez, you know what's coming. It is the Montez Minute recap.
Shit.
Movies 1, 2, and 4.
Even better.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so in the first one, we're eating tuna fish sandwiches. We're falling in love with underage girls. We're falling in love with their brothers. We're letting them go at the end because we realize that we can't love either one of them, so we gotta let them both go. Okay. So that's 1. 2.
That's not really the first movie, but all right, that's fair enough. Okay.
2. We're eating snacks. We're doing crushed up car derbies. Worst villain ever. I mean, just the weakest villain. Nobody's pockets are empty. Everybody's pockets are full of money. That's the second movie. What was the third movie? 4?
Uh-huh. Your favorite. Supposedly your favorite of these movies so far.
4 is when we get Vin Diesel doing his very classic Sherlock Holmes impression where he is just recreating things. Letty's dead. Brian comes back into the picture. Mia somehow magically forgives him. Dom magically forgives him. The throuple is back together. Do I need to do the 5th one too?
No. You'll do the 5th one next time, whether you remember it or not.
You did great. That you were speedy. You were to the point. This was awesome.
I felt like I was under the time crunch there. I was trying to get it in.
It was the Seinfeld where they have the light on you, and he's like, "It's a little hot in here." And he's like, "No,
sweating.
I'm pretty comfortable."
I was sweating.
You were sweating more than Mr. Dwayne Johnson as Lucas Rebecca Hobbs. You don't know his middle name yet, but Lucas Rebecca Hobbs here in Fast 5. So now, Montez, what the fuck? How do you not like this movie?
It's not that I don't. Okay, it's not that I don't like this movie. I don't have any problems with this movie. So when I was younger, I used to have like a sick movie. I would watch a movie while I was sick, and I would watch it so many
It was
times that
Legend.
I would forget that I'd watched it. Actually, it was 12 Monkeys and Seven.
Oh, so you loved 1995 Brad Pitt.
I mean, who doesn't? Come on.
I agree. I
But
absolutely.
it is weird that both those movies came out that year and both star him. But okay, continue.
Yeah. So I watched them so much that every time I was sick, I'm like, man, I've never seen this movie before, and I'd pop it in and be like, oh, I've seen this movie. That's how I feel about this movie. I've seen it so many times that like my brain has melded this movie with The Italian Job.
Do you not like The Italian Job?
No, I love The Italian Job.
Have you seen the original?
I have not seen the original.
It's actually good, as opposed to the new one, which is not good.
I love the new one. Don't even start to slander it. Come on.
I mean, I like the new one because I haven't seen the original. But so it's not that I don't like this movie. It's that there was a lot going on in this movie, and I think in my brain, this movie and The Italian Job came out at the exact same time, so they're the exact same movie.
No, they came out almost a decade apart.
I know.
There was a news item that we found that we have not been able to re-find that supposedly the original script for this was called The Brazilian Job. It was a sequel to The Italian Job. You've probably heard us talk about that on the podcast before in the episodes you've talked about or you've listened.
Yep.
It does kind of feel like a heist. I consider it more the Ocean's 11, more kind of the Avengers than The Italian Job, mostly because I don't like The Italian Job. But I don't think these movies are really anything alike. I mean, other than they're both heist movies in international, like in other countries. Like
I think it's just the heist and the cars dragging things and the speeding.
Joe and I just did 25 heist movies. Like we know that heist movies are very widespread. So
I don't have a problem with this movie. I just want to throw that out there before anybody comes for me. I have 2 pages full of notes.
So more than just your box. Are these boxed or are they not boxed?
Yeah.
It got a little chaotic.
Okay.
It started out as boxes, and then the boxes got bigger, and then it turned into 2 pages.
That's fascinating. Is that more notes than you've taken on the first 3 movies combined? It sounds like it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start? Because we got to do the most Dom moment. We don't have to do that right now, unless you want to start there. But what do you want to talk about first? Where do you want to go? Fast 5. Why is it forgettable? Things you like, things you don't like, things you're confused about, or most Dom moment. Whatever you want to go, we will start.
Man, I mean, I hate to say it, but I still got more questions.
Okay.
I just keep coming up with these questions, man.
No, it's okay.
Let's see.
Hold on. While you look at the notes, Montez, I want to give Joe and our listeners an update. Joe got a new update from Amazon on the Xbox. Now expected, because it's supposed to be here tonight by 8 o'clock. It's now 8:15. Okay?
Yes.
Now expected November 23rd, which is tomorrow, to November 29th. So they have extended the window out. We're very sorry your delivery is late. If you've not received your package by November 29th, you can come back here the next day for a refund.
Oh, they're trying to wait you out. You're playing chicken now.
Mm-hmm.
We had seen when Joey searched the tracking number that it just was like label generated in China.
Mm-hmm.
Like this thing hasn't even hit. No box has been delivered to any carrier.
No.
I'm taking a guess you're not getting
I don't
this
think I am
night.
either, but...
Not tomorrow night, at least.
Let me just check the USPS tracking number. Label created, not yet in system. So, yeah, okay, cool. You know, coming from China takes 3 to 5 days. Anyway, Montez.
Exactly.
Please go ahead.
Okay, let's see here. I'm going to start with my my love.
Oh, you're not going questions. You're going love. Okay, go for love.
It's just so many questions. I'll save those for the end. So I love that The Rock called Vin Diesel boy. And perhaps it's because I spent the past weekend when I watched this movie doing nothing but playing the new God of War.
Okay.
It really spoke to me.
In your mind, Dom is like the little boy in God of War who just shouts answers before you can even take in the puzzle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Poor Atreus.
I like that in what's widely considered the best Fast and Furious movie, a franchise I will say all 3 of us love. Your number 1 note is, I like that The Rock calls him boy.
Yeah.
Not that they have an ultimate heist, not that Danzo Kuduro makes you cry with happiness, not that
The Rock just shows up and he's awesome throughout the whole movie.
Just that he uses the word boy. So do you not like Vin, or do you just like that the power dynamic, the difference?
No, I just thought it was funny. I love Vin Diesel.
Fair. Okay, good.
I mean,
good.
I think I've told you this before. I have zero shame. I love the movie The Pacifier.
Are we doing The Pacifier? I think that we are. We are. Okay, yes. In February. Yes, we're getting there eventually.
Okay, let's see. I'm trying to read my handwriting because I was scribbling so furiously this time. When Dom sighs because the guy didn't die. I don't even remember which scene this was, but I wrote down that I loved that because he's just like pissed that the guy didn't die when he tried to kill him.
I don't want to see Dom do a murder on screen. Joey, how would you feel about that? If Dom
haven't we seen him do murders? Like, not like cold-blooded murders, but like they're shooting guns at like nameless thugs and stuff.
That, but I mean, like, do you want to see like Dom like hand-to-hand combat, knife in ribs?
No, but I think that would be a point of no return, because I think that between this fight and the Statham fight in 7, spoilers, I think those are the things that he would be like, he's got the most anger in him for one reason or another. I also don't really fully understand why he hates The Rock as much as he does in this, or why The Rock hates them, or why they're after. Like, a lot of the personal grudges, even like throwing in Hernan Reyes here, like, it feels like everything here is personal, like Roman was saying, but in a way that, like, it shouldn't be. Like, I get the Campos and Braga thing because, like, Letty, right? Like, there's that.
Yes.
This is just, like, everyone's so angry for just no real reason.
Yeah, you're right. But they sell the gravity and the personal vendetta very, very well, like, acting-wise, I think. But you're right. Like, there's absolutely no reason.
I'm not saying it as a knock against the movie. I'm just saying in terms of, like, where we have a fight here almost to the death, where Dom, if he, instead of smashing next to the Rock's head, next to Hobbs' head, hits him in the head, kills him, different trajectory for the franchise altogether. Like, that fight has so much intensity and passion for no real reason other than, like, cop and criminal.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, I don't know. Anyway, okay, Montez, keep going.
Okay. That's all I had in my love section. I tried to keep it short, and then my questions just got the better of me.
Did you write in like 35-point font if you had 6 pages of notes and that was all you had in your like section, or was that just a giant empty quadrant?
All my questions are just, I mean, it became like 2 pages of questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now it makes sense.
So my hate is actually, it's funny. So when I watched this with my cousin Michael again.
Oh, actually, with that in mind, sorry to interrupt you once again, but shout out to Cassie Wilson, Ben Milliman, Nick Burris, Alex Ellen, and Justin Klein. I feel like we're on like a game show and you said the magic word, like we're on TV.
Yep. Bing, 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 bing.
You said Michael Gallier, so shout out to Cassie Wilson, Ben Milliman, Nick Burris, Alex Ellen, and Justin Kleinman, Brian Rodriguez of High School Slumber Party, Haley Gerbies, Wes Hampton, Jerry Robinson, Dan the Duke, Hayden Renato, D. Donato, Michael McGann, Lane Middleton, Lindsay Lewandowski, Nate Milton of the Kings of Sports, Jason Rainey, Tom Price, Mike Gallier, and Jessica Collins, yourself.
Montez.
AKA Montez. Thank you all for supporting us with the $5.
I like the game show delivery of that. You changed your normal pitch.
I gotta do something, man.
That was more fun. That was a lot better. I really like that one. Not that the other one's bad or anything. Just like I like the fun.
When I do the same thing 200 times in a row, it's not good, You
had like a nice like little beat going there, and it worked well.
So Montez, you watch this with your cousin, of course.
Yes, and I hate that in real life now because of him. I say I'm hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we definitely do. I do it all the time.
He asks me now if I want something to eat, and I'm like, yeah, I'm hungry. The other thing that I actually did dislike about this movie, and maybe it's just because my brain, when it hears something repeatedly, it gets on my nerves. They repeated the lines, had to make a call, so many times in this movie.
It's a callback. It's a motif.
Hate it.
Cinema.
Callback to what? Just like earlier in the movie?
Well, they say, like, are you saying like in the first like 15 minutes, how they say it 3 times?
Yeah, that, and then it just keeps going.
Does it?
Yeah. It keeps going like the rest of the movie. That and
I've never noticed
and
it.
Did he grab that ass or did he slap it?
Well, yeah, I mean that's a running joke.
Yes, the running joke.
Sure.
Okay.
I like that you're out of breath.
So you just hate running jokes.
I know, right? Okay, my most
Montez. Good news for you. These writers do not watch the previous movies before they write a script. Even though Chris Morgan, writing every movie basically for a long time, they're like, hey, remember what we did in the last movie? Me neither. Let's just write something brand new.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've got my most dumb moment. I'm just like going down the list here.
All right, let's
send it. Yeah, we'll get into
the most
it.
Dom moment. We'll do that
All
right
right.
now. Yeah.
I feel like my most Dom moment was when Han came in to save the heist.
Oh, when you mean like when he bumps in the cop car?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Interesting. I like that you went outside the box and did not pick an actual Dom moment. I like that. It's a very Dom moment of your own.
Thank you.
I think I got the most Dom moment, and it's a very, very obvious one.
I have written down 7. I'm sure yours is in there, and I wrote down after it because obviously, but please hit us with your most Dom moment.
It has to be when he lets Vince come back and tells him to say grace and, like, gives him a seat back, right?
I have, that's not my obviously one, but I do have that. I originally wrote down most Dom moment when he invites Vince back to the warehouse, but then I'm like, wait a minute, we don't see him do that. This is a first movie all over again. But he does like welcome him back in. Like Vince shows up, he's just like, hey, grab a plate.
That's what I said.
So yes.
I specifically did this so you wouldn't be upset this time.
Yes.
That it's when he sees him, says, you can come in, but you have to say grace, which is a real scene from this movie, not implied.
Yeah. I thought the obvious one, because I think that's one of the hallmark Dom moments in this movie for sure. I also, after everything especially, right? I also think early in the movie, defending Vince against Brian's accusations kind of like a inverse of the first movie. You know, like, hey, they're family. Like, we're not going to call them out. We trust people here, right?
Yep, exactly.
I thought your obvious one was going to be This is Brazil, because that's, you know, just classic.
Yeah, that it's a classic Dom moment. I agree. But it's not like a Dom moment, if you get what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a classic Vin Dom being in these movies moment, but not like something that I think exhibits what Dom Toretto exudes.
In The Matrix, the residual self-image, that's the residual Dom image. Like, when you think of Dom, you probably either think of him from the race in the first... You almost had me. You never had me. Yeah. Or that, right? Like, those are the two, when you probably Google image search Dom Toretto, those are the two that come up, probably. I would guess.
I would guess too. Yeah, that makes sense.
I also think letting Brian win the $1 million quarter mile, very Dom, because family.
Very Dom. Yeah, he's actually like giving his sister $1 million. So.
Yes. Speaking of a sister, I think Mia has a Dom moment where she refuses to let the family split up again. Like when the three of them go through the sewers and they get out, and Dom's like, all right, we got to split up, and Brian's like, yeah, Dom's right, and she's like, I'm pregnant. Like, I'm not going to lose you guys again. I think it was a very family first.
Yes.
No, final 2.
Okay.
Most of my notes in this lap are just the most Dom moments. Number 1, the one I like, it's kind of the whole sequence, but him saying, O'Connor, let's go get some cars. Go into the race, the bravado at the race, winning off screen, that's it. But I think the most Dom moment, it's not really a thing he does as much as it is just like the way that he's presented. But when we first see him in this movie after the initial, end of 4, beginning of 5, like overlap, whatever, when he laser cuts through the train car and just like kind of appears on screen, like resurrected, like back in the wild with the cross on, I'm like, that's kind of cool. Like just there to get the job done to save the day. I think that's a pretty solid Dom moment.
I agree. That was a good list. That was a really, really good list. I agree with you. I had a couple of those thinking as possibilities for me, so we were on the same track here. I do like the
Vince one a lot, because the Vince one, welcoming back in after everything he did, after putting Mia in jeopardy, just like, no, man, he's family.
Yeah.
3rd grade.
Montez, did you believe Mia's pregnancy? As a woman who has been pregnant twice at least now, did you believe her pregnancy? Like, did she sell it as a mom? Did she have the like mom glow, the vibe? That's more what I'm getting at. Like, not like, do you believe her goofy rounded belly bump? Like, do you believe?
I don't know, man. I hated being pregnant. Everything about
And Montez, as a woman, are you #boycotting Tampax?
Why?
Wait.
Oh, you didn't see this yesterday?
Because of the tweet that said, like, you're in her DMs.
You're in their DMs, we're in them, we are not the same. And then they quote tweeted saying, refusing to let Twitter shut down before we shared this tweet. It's just like, boy, okay.
I'm not a woman. I don't buy Tampax and probably never will. But I don't think that was, like, the worst. Like, they were just trying to be edgy and it didn't work well. I don't think they were, like, offensive.
Well, it's perfect for Elon Musk's edgelord Twitter. I get that. But it's also, like, it's not great. But anyway.
It's tasteless. It's not, like, offensive.
Yes. I read one article just like, this is kind of extreme. Like, the the take that I read on. I'm just like, okay, that's okay. I hear you, but it's still like that. I would not have tweeted that.
No, same. And for all those times that we're like, man, this movie feels like it was a bunch of old white dudes in suits in like a boardroom meeting. That's the complete opposite. If two people had read that before they clicked send, I'm concerned.
Yeah, you're right.
It was like one teenager was like, yep, and like sent it and was like, oh shit.
Send it, and then we're gonna double down, we're gonna quote tweet and be like, this tweet was so good, we've waited, and then they replied to someone like, when do you think, like, been waiting on that a while, like, yeah, since last period.
That's what I mean. Like, this has to be like a 15-year-old boy, right? Like, that they just like get a hold of Tampax's thing, like their social media. There's no way it could be anything else than that.
Oh my god.
So Montez, I do have a genuine question for you. I know that like it's about the pregnancy. We're not like straying here, but I think I would like to hear if you have more thoughts on Joe's question, but also the thing that drives me crazy, and I understand why they do it because I think it's one of the very few visual things that a movie can do early on in pregnancy, but it feels like every movie that's revealing a character is pregnant has her go to the bathroom and throw up.
It's like
it's like oh my god, she's sick.
That's the only way you know that your sim is pregnant.
Oh.
Your sim gets pregnant and she immediately goes in the bathroom and pukes. I personally never threw up either of my pregnancies. So
you got, from what I hear, you got very lucky.
Yeah, I was very lucky. Although after both of them, I did end up getting food poisoning really bad after both of them and then threw up profusely. But
not due to the pregnancy.
Not due to the pregnancy.
So my question to you is that if you were writing a movie, you've seen a movie.
I'm just thinking this, Joey. I hope you're going where I'm going.
Are there other ways that you would demonstrate that a woman is pregnant other than having her throw up, like without being like, because it's either like it's that or like peeing on a stick and being like, oh my god, and like crying and like that kind of scene. Like,
yeah, hands in face on toilet seat.
Yeah.
Are there other visual things? I feel like if there were, we would see them, but it drives me crazy that it's just like she throws up and then Vince's wife or girlfriend is just like, does he know? And she goes, no, he doesn't know yet.
I mean, like, it could have been like maybe she had a bad tuna sandwich.
This is what I was hoping for. If I was writing a movie, every woman in my movie would exhibit some type of thing that would make you think they were pregnant, but it would not be pregnancy. Yeah. It would just be like, oh, she has the flu, or like
food poisoning.
She was just sad on the toilet. Like
she's buying diapers.
yeah, like for like her sister, and like, but they would all be like reveals later that like none of these women are pregnant.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, or like she just needed to take a nap because she had mono.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like some guy comes up and like rubs another woman's belly and it's like, oh man, it's so good to see you. And it's like, no, that's just how they say hi, or like just all kinds of weird things that would cue you in, but like are totally not what's happening in my movie.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, you could always just wait 5 months and see what happens.
I think you would know before 5 months, but I will let you. You're more of an expert here in this field than I would. But I just feel like
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an expert.
You've had 2 more babies than me and Joe combined, so you
true.
Put in your 10,000 hours of mothering.
Yes.
Okay, keep going.
But I'm with you. It irritates me too that every time somebody's
pregnant, it just feels lazy, right? Like it just
like,
feels
like
I get it, but also come on.
It's like that doesn't actually happen to everybody, but whatever. I get it. It's men writing women's parts. I get it.
I'm sure that's exactly what it is. That's why Joey and I were like, is it just you just puke and then that's how we know?
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's the only time women ever puke. I don't know. The only time I ever threw up was when I drank too much.
Or food poisoning.
Or food poisoning, yeah. The Rock gets the fuck. I did write that down.
He does.
He says, stay the fuck out of my way.
In his first scene on film, too, in this franchise.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty ballsy. That facial hair was terrible, though.
You don't like the goatee?
I just thought it looked stupid.
I think I probably asked you this. We've asked you this before on the show, but like, which movies that we have not gotten to yet have you not seen?
I have not seen past. So I haven't seen 8, 9.
Hobbs and Shaw.
I've seen Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay, so 8 and 9.
Okay, so okay. So you've seen most of The Rock. How does The Rock in this movie? How does the Hobbs portrayal in this movie compare in your mind to other Hobbs? Because that character goes through a transformation. And there's a real kind of division between the way he's playing it now and the way he will eventually play it. But how do you think of him compared to kind of where he will go? And like, you haven't kind of seen maybe silliest Hobbs yet. I mean, Hobbs and Shaw is up there, but Eight Hobbs and Shaw, like those are the big ones. But like, do you like this button-down military guy? Do you like when he gets a little bit softer? Like, what do you think? What's your sweet spot in terms of how The Rock portrays Hobbs?
I feel like the way he's portrayed in this movie is a little too aggressive.
Too aggressive. Okay.
It's like trying a little too hard. It's almost like they needed him to be like, if Dom is the embodiment of like family, then he needed to be the polar opposite of that. Of we're just going to be super strict. It's all about, work. It's all about, doing what's right as far as, the government. His character was just like, his character was very stereotypical in this one, I felt like.
He is a military man by the book, all numbers, like that kind of thing, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what else do I have?
This does not feel like 2 pages of notes, Montez. I'm with Joe. Like, how big is your handwriting?
I'm not... I'm trying to pace myself here. I do want to say, okay, I'm to my other thoughts now.
So we did love, we did hate, we did Dom moment.
Yep. Who got the fuck?
We got other thoughts and we got questions still to come.
Yeah. So
okay.
Some of my other thoughts were, because I've been equating all of these to a child's movie. Roman.
Oh, did your son watch this one or no? Has he watched any of them since last time?
He hasn't. I'm really waiting for him to watch Tokyo Drift because I think he's gonna love it.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Because he loves pretending like his cars are drifting. He likes to pretend like he himself is drifting when he's running. He even has the screeching tires. I don't think he understands that he's a child, but he thinks he's a car sometimes.
Skirt!
Yes, he really does that.
I know, so do I. That's why I knew exactly what he was talking about.
Roman is like Buzz Lightyear, because he's continuously narrating to no one.
Okay.
So
I like that.
So I don't know if you notice that the next time you watch this movie, he's kind of just like narrating to himself. He's
kind of like the audience surrogate, right? Like he's saying what we're thinking.
Yeah.
But I do like that you compared him to Buzz Lightyear. That makes me really happy.
Yeah. We went from Vince not being able to read in the first movie, and now he speaks multiple languages.
True. I mean, that doesn't mean he knows how to read.
That's true. He probably still doesn't.
Independent skill sets.
All right. Yes, my writing isn't big. I'm to my last page of notes here. My writing isn't big. It's just like all over the place. I'll send you guys a picture. I also am highlighting as I'm going through all of these so I don't miss anything. I would like to say at the end of the movie, I'm glad that at least Tej went straight with his money and, opened himself up a shop.
Okay. Yeah. I do like that he has a garage. I noticed that it had a phone number this time, Joey, and then I looked at it and it was just a 555 number. And I know that I know that when we get to the minute in 17 years that I'm going to be curious who picked the last 4 numbers because it wasn't like 555 1 2 3 4.
Right. You know what drove me crazy this week? I saw She Said, the new New York Times movie, or the movie about the New York Times exposing the Harvey Weinstein scandal, and it's based on real. I mean, they might have combined characters. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the real people, like in terms of like the reporters.
Yes.
But it's based on real reporters, real reporting. They did all the interviews. They had the actual survivors, all that stuff. And at one point, Zoe Kazan's character gives her business card to one of the people. She's like, if you want to change your mind, give me a call. And they show it, and the phone number is like 917-555. It's like, no. The New York Times has like a publicly listed phone number. Just like put like the main switchboard on there. Like you can still get like. I saw them just like this feels like for a movie that's striving to be like accurate and representational. It's just like, why would you put a 555 number on a thing that like is a publicly listed phone number?
Yeah, but I guess you probably wouldn't want people to call.
Also, but no one's gonna call. First of all, no one saw.
We've done market research. Nobody calls these numbers in the movies.
No one calls, no one saw She Said, and no one who's seeing She Said is like, ooh, I'm going to call that phone number in that movie.
And if it rings to this is the New York Times switchboard, enter your party's extension, it would just be you'd hang up. You don't give a fuck. Yeah, exactly.
Drove me crazy. Anyway.
Fair.
Back on brand, Montez, go.
I feel like this is the longest bridge in the world. I know we have yet to get to the longest runway. Roman at the
very
end
soon
is wearing the shittiest cut suit I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
The suit is god awful.
It's like early 2000s baggy and oversized.
I was just thinking about that recently. Like we talked about, I had to get a new suit, and I was thinking about how like back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when the huge baggy suits were a thing, I was like, ugh, yuck. Like, I can't believe we actually lived through that and have to deal with it.
It's really funny how, like, some things, like, go out of style, come back in style. I don't know if that's ever... I mean, it could. It might never come back, but,
Bieber did it, like, not long ago. Bieber had, like, a super oversized suit. And so did Elliot Page, when he was at some award show.
I mean, like, if you do, like, the David Byrne, like, you know, that looks good. But also, like, it's just funny that you look back at, like, the 50s and, like, the very, like, sort of slim... I mean, like, the cut and everything changed, but, like, a slim suit with a slim tie, like, always looks good, mostly,
always
right?
looks good. Always looks good. Yeah, I agree.
It's wild. But, yeah, Montez, that suit's trash.
Yeah, suit is trash.
He's a 10 millionaire, 10 times over millionaire.
Can't get a damn tailor.
Feels very on brand for Roman, though, right?
He's got room for snacks in his pockets.
Yeah, that he would like be worth 10 million and just go buy a really expensive suit, but like off the rack and not
Well, we know that he, you know, in six, right? When they're in England, and he's asking for, you know, the vending machine because he like that's how you stay a millionaire. Like he's being cheap, so it kind of makes sense that he is frugal and not good at spending money, even though he does, you know, make a chic an offer he couldn't refuse.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now I'm to my random ass questions.
Go for it.
What the fuck's up with the cafe?
Montez, you can't just keep asking the same question every single time. We don't have new answers.
Listen, I did that one as a joke.
Okay.
One of the things that I did think about in this movie, I thought that how much money in damages is happening. It feels like I was watching the Avengers, where they're just like wrecking this place. A place that doesn't have probably very good infrastructure to fix these roads anyway.
I think Brazil's doing pretty weird. So I imagine it would be a significant cost for them to try to rebuild this. We'd probably have had to have sent aid from America. So yeah, I think it's pretty bad. It's pretty devastating. I would hate this if I was just, you know, living there and now all of a sudden my bank is gone. My bus stop is gone. Like, everything that existed that I knew is just destroyed. It'd be pretty miserable.
So according to the website her.ie, I have no idea what this website is. They went through and they analyzed the amount of money, the total cost of damage caused in the Fast and Furious movies has been tallied.
Okay.
And for Fast 5, they estimate $20 million worth of damage, most of that coming from volleying an entire bank safe around the streets of Rio. And then later movies, I guess this is before Fate, so they have up through 7, but 6 and 7 both have much, much higher. This just feels, because it feels like street level. Like you watch like a Marvel movie, you're like, oh, they're fighting outer space. I don't know what that means. But like you see like Daredevil like on the street, like going through like a glass window. You're like, oh, I know how much that costs, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
There's you like almost like the Crazy Taxi. Like you're seeing like you're just like dollar signs like popping up. Like, oh, I know what that costs. So, you know, like Fast and Furious 6, 200 million. Fast 5, just 20 million. But like it's a very practical 20 million. Like we know where that money's going.
I also feel like this is the first one, and maybe I'm trying to look at this from a perspective of I'm watching them again with fresh eyes. I feel like this is the first one where there are tons of people like dying, just like random people dying.
I think that because this is like the very first like action movie one, so you have like a lot of just like extra casualties on the side that like are people that like don't really matter. Like, I mean, Joey and I talk about when we were doing the minute and 2 that like we have the like guy get run over by the tractor trailers and everybody's like, whatever. But like this one, yes, there's like probably a lot of civilian death and just like random like goons and shit that they're like shooting at.
Yeah. That's literally all I got. It's a small piece of paper.
There is a line early in this movie that doesn't make any sense to me. When Dom and Brian are captured by Reyes and they're being almost tortured, like Reyes is interrogating them, they're not giving anything up.
The hands above the head thing?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Brian says to Reyes, quote, "This roofing plastic says you're full of shit." I don't know what that means.
Oh, do you have a little bit more context?
No.
Do you have a little bit more on the
Didn't
front
go
or
back.
back?
Don't remember. Saving it for next time. This roofing plastic says you're full of shit. And I was like, huh? Later in the movie, when Brian is dragging the safe, he just says, you bastard, to a biker. And I'm like, these are like weird, like they're not, like that might have been ad-lib. This roofing plastic says you're full of shit is very clearly a written line. I don't know what and I feel like Reyes doesn't even respond to it. He's just like, what? Okay, gonna move on.
Is he saying, like, where are they at? They're at, like, his warehouse, right?
They're in, I don't know if they're in his warehouse. They're in one of his spaces because he's got places all over the city.
Okay, so I'm saying, like, Brian is trying to imply, like, oh, you're such a big shot, but, like, your warehouse is crumbling. Like, this is all a facade.
I like that. That's a very good reading. I appreciate that. Okay.
That's what
Answered.
what I parse from this.
Asked and answered. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true, and that's like big stretch.
I spent a minute or two thinking about it. I didn't spend a lot of time, but that's a much better explanation than anything that I came up with.
What were you
I
thinking?
got nothing. I had nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just like, this is weird. I also do want to say in that scene, I admire the restraint Dom shows. We know how much Dom Toretto loves a headbutt. He could have headbutted Reyes there, and he doesn't. Like, there's restraint that he shows, which is commendable for Dom.
Yeah, I also think he knew that, like, in a vulnerable position, he can't headbutt him because, like, probably Brian would have got killed.
Yeah.
So it's probably calculated. You know
Probably.
what I mean? Like,
yeah. But still, he's a hothead.
He is.
Loves using that hothead to smash into things with that head. So.
It was great watching it this time. Now that you brought that up, because that scene immediately is immediately preceded by them jumping off the thing, and both of those were two things that I've had from like two comments of scenes that I think were stolen from either Triple X or Pitch Black, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And like it's like they're like I didn't realize that those scenes were like back to back. That I brought up that Dom loves having his hands over his head tied up like he's crucified, and he also jumps off the bridge into the water in Triple X.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to have them like side by side, it's like he's like, oh yeah, let's use those other scenes from my last movies, real quick, and then he like does them, and he's like, okay, back to Fast and Furious.
Yeah, could be, very well could be. I have a couple other notes, but before I get there, Joe, anything you noticed this time around?
No, I was cutting them in as we were going. Like those were as I was doing.
I think that even though it's true and leads to an ultimate compliment, I think it's kind of shitty of Hobbs to bring up Elena's dead husband in the first thing he says to her. Like, she's like, why'd you want me? It's like, oh, remember when your husband died? That man you loved? Remember when he got killed? And you're like, I'm going to become a cop? I like that. It's just like, dude, like, you just met. Don't bring up her dead husband.
Yeah, and you can, like, kind of tiptoe around that, too. I get that that's, like, that's delivery specifically for us, right? To be like, oh, she has a dead husband.
Yes, she has a dead husband. This guy admire, like, she's competent, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's a movie thing, but I'm just like, dude, better way to get around that, please.
Yeah, if that was like, hey, Joey, glad to hear your pet died. How does that make you feel? You know, you'd be like, what the fuck?
You really
like,
bounce back after that really well. Just like,
yeah.
There's other ways to say that, but right? Yeah.
Like, hey, sorry, I heard about your husband. Apparently he was a great cop here, and, like, I respect his loyalty or whatever, right?
Yeah. Going back to what Montez said about, did you grab that ass, did you smack that ass, did you grab it? I think Roman is a little too quick to grab Giselle's bathing suit bottom to quote unquote see it. When Han brings it back, he's like, we got the handprint. He's like, where? And then Giselle shines the black light on it. Like, Roman immediately goes to grab it. I'm like, dude, that's a little creepy. Just
it's
like
a little pervy. It's
just
like a little pervy.
Actually, back Elena said husband. I think it would have been fun, nice little Easter egg, if the photos of her dead husband, instead of just being like a Brazilian actor that we don't know, were Chris Hemsworth, because she and Chris Hemsworth were married by the time this movie came out. And it just would have been funny, like, oh shit, wait, why is Chris Hemsworth there? Oh, they're married. That's interesting. Made me wonder, do you think he watches these movies? Has he seen every movie or just the 3 or 4 that she's been in?
Chris Hemsworth?
Yeah. How many of these movies do you think Chris Hemsworth has seen?
What are we setting the over-under at?
Well, so there's 10, right?
5? How many is she in? No.
She's in 4, so she's in 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, so let's set it at 4.5.
Has he seen one movie she's not in?
Yeah, I think he has. I think he's at least seen like the original one, at least.
Yeah, most definitely.
Do you think he's seen all 10?
No.
Do you think
I
he's
do not.
seen, okay, like a serious sort of tough over under 7.5? Over under 7.5. Has he seen
Oh,
4 of the 6 she is not in?
no.
That seems like a
I think he
lot.
saw the first one and all the ones that she was in. Maybe Tokyo Drift, like, at some point.
Montez, over under 7.5?
7.5 feels like a lot.
I feel like you're not wrong. It is a lot. I think number one, it's another major franchise. Like he's in a major franchise, like he's in, Marvel, right? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he might want to just keep up with the Joneses in that regard. Number two, I also think he just might have downtime on set or like on plane somewhere. He's like, oh, let me throw this on. But it is, I don't know if he would be watching these movies. If he could watch anything, would he be watching these?
That's what I'm saying. And like, I know it's different for everyone, but this is one of these things where like if I was an actor, the last thing I'd want to do when I'm like trying to relax is like watch a movie because it would be like that thing like when they ask like football players like do you ever watch like what were you doing on Sunday and they're like dude I don't watch football if I'm
Right.
not playing like that's like I don't want to watch work,
Well, so here's the
right?
thing. Do you think, because obviously if they got married in 2010, they were dating presumably for at least a year or more before that. Do you think when she got the part, they sat down, were like, let's watch the first 4. Let's see where they're at.
Mm, like as no, I don't
Not
think
as
you
market
even
research,
need it.
just as character research. Just like, hey, I'm
That's what
I'm
I mean.
I'm entering this franchise as a new character. My boss is going to be played by The Rock. He's new to the franchise too, but like, I don't know who these characters are. Let's see what they are. I think she might have. I don't know if he would have though, but maybe.
And I don't even think she necessarily needed to. Like, that's not like a necessity to me. Like, I think that you could even get away with it being like Hobbs or
No, especially when, as we've established, the characterization is dead husband, right?
yeah, yeah, yes, yes, yes. But I'm saying like it's like hard nosed cop hot. Like it's in the script. The script is telling her what these characters are. It's like, oh, he's Old Testament, Wrath of God type shit, and you're like, okay, yeah. Like if she's reading the script, it's like cueing her in on like who this is anyway. Like she doesn't need to like actually watch or like learn what these characters are. We figure it out. The movies are written so that you can watch either one of any of them first, right? So like if you're reading the script, you'd be like, okay, yeah, this is like the doofy one, and like he's the Joker, and whatever.
Speaking of the Joker, my last note.
What?
In what order do you think Roman and Tej bought their CCXRs? Those are Koenigseggs? Are those Koenigseggs? Do they have the
Yes,
end?
they are. Yes, they are.
I'm learning.
Yep.
So Roman's like 1 of 4 in the Western Hemisphere. I have a theory on how this played out. In what order? How do you think who bought the car first?
I think Tej had his first and probably snuck the one that Roman first went to go look at, and then Roman had to find one from a sheik.
Interesting. Okay.
You think of the opposite?
I think Roman was like, "Hey Tej, guess what? I'm flying to Abu Dhabi. I'm going to see this car. It's really cool. I'm going to spend a lot of money on it. I think I get like just bragging about it." And then Tej's like, "All right, I'm just going to go buy one
Okay.
because
Just
it's going to drive him crazy."
that's hilarious, and that's a petty level that I would do to piss off my friend. If we both had the ability to buy one of these cars to annoy him, yes, that would be hilarious.
Because it's weird that like they both. I understand that like it's a very rare exclusive car, but there's a lot of rare exclusive cars, right? Like it doesn't have to be that
Yeah,
one specifically.
you know what this is. This is the most Italian job part of this whole movie. This is the I bought everybody else's things that I wanted at the end. I think there's like an off-screen bit where like Roman's like Tej, what would you buy? And he's like, I know exactly the car I'd buy, and he like lists it, and then your part is true, and then like Roman's like, you know what, Tej, I found one of those. I'm gonna go buy it. I made a chic an offer, and then Tej is like, oh, this motherfucker, like he can't not only steal my idea, but then execute it and buy the car too. So then Tej bought one and was like, yeah, I have one anyways. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, fair enough.
All day on my Facebook Reels, I was getting nothing but videos of GT3 RSs on my Reels, not realizing that a GT3 RS is the blue Porsche in this movie.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I would just happen to be getting this exact model of car all over my reels today, and like multiple versions of it. Usually, it's like some Ferraris, some Lambos, some Paganis, whatever, right? Like all different types of supercar, hypercar, whatever. It was specifically this model all day today. So I don't know if they were reading our Google Docs or what, but it must be.
Montez, any other thoughts, any other notes about Fast 5?
No other thoughts, no other notes.
Then let's play this ain't known 10-second race, aka Boy Do We Have a Podcast for You.
Boy, do we have a podcast for you. Come and check out our show. Yeah, yeah.
This is where we go on twitter.com, aka the Bird app, aka Elon Musk's new vanity project, and we find any tweet from anyone who's tweeting about the Fast and Furious, seeing,
Joey.
suggesting we get them. Yes.
Oh, so Joey had a thought the other a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and he messages me and is like something about like, what if Twitter dies, blah blah blah. We're talking. I didn't think about the implications for that for this game.
So if you look at Elon's feed, Elon's like, Twitter's never been stronger. There's never been more people. There's never been more blah blah blah. It's just like, yeah, but you like literally 3/4 of the people that used to work there no longer work there. Everyone who seems to know anything about it,
It's quitting.
It seems that it was supposedly a 50-50 shot that it crashes during the World Cup sometime. My real issue, like I like Twitter for what it is a lot, but we book almost every person we don't know through Twitter.
Yeah.
And like that's not the same thing on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Like Twitter is like where people, like journalists especially, live. So this show will be different if Twitter dies, but let's all go to Mastodon. Let's all figure out how to do that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
At Soulpopped, at Collectiva.social. If you want to do that. All right, I'm going to review last episode's tweets. So, I found Assignment Understander at 90s Slow Jam. He was live tweeting the movies. The one that I responded to was in asterisks, insufferable Vox writer nerd guy voice Leon Santos from the Fast and Furious film franchise are truly the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern of the 20-teens. And we said they are truly the unsung heroes of this franchise. Every movie without them is worse for it. Boy, do a podcast for you. I got a like and a response. 6 points.
Nice.
Killing it.
Yes.
Brings me up to 59.5. You're at 77 right now.
Okay.
Joe, you found Nazim Myers replying to Espresso Show. Nazim says, I am the biggest fan of the Fast and Furious franchise, that I own all the movies on Blu-ray. And it's a picture of him with the movies. We said we are also giant fans. We hope you give us a chance to listen to our podcast. Boy, do we have a podcast for you. Nazim liked it. So 1 point to you. So you're up to 78.
Ooh, nice.
It's genuinely rare that we both get points on the same
Very.
thing. Montez, I got some bad news for you.
I don't. It's not bad news. It's just new.
Montez, you found Affogato Enjoyer at Uncooked Quinoa. Bullshit. No one likes the tuna here. Quote, well, I do. I said, boy, do we have a podcast for you. There's no crust in this one. And of course not. Montez could not be worse this game if she tried. It's truly endearing.
Do you guys like affogatos? Do you know what they are? An affogato is a scoop of ice cream with a shot of espresso poured over it.
Well, that sounds great.
Dude, it's fucking incredible. Top tier. Yeah, so you just get like vanilla or chocolate, whatever kind of gelato, like a nice like dulce de leche ice cream. Works perfect for this. Shot of espresso, straight over top, spoon it out. You put it in like a coffee cup, like a normal size coffee cup, not like an espresso cup. Awesome. Highly recommended. One of the greatest Italian inventions. Do it. If you're at home, give it a shot. If you've never had one.
Do you guys make your own espresso? I know you do your own cold brew, but do you do like espresso too or no?
Yeah, and to the best espresso making way at home, if you want to make espresso like the Italians, buy a mocha pot. M-O-O-K-A or M-O-K-A, whatever.
M-O-K-A pot.
By Biglietti. That's the actual company. Buy one of those. Lasts forever. That's the only way that you need to make coffee at your house. And it's an aluminum thing. It steams up through the bottom.
How many of these do you think Justin Kleinman has?
Oh no, Justin Kleinman has one, but he has like actual other espresso. Like this, it's not the so it's the way the Italians have made coffee forever at home in Italy, and all the Italians that come here have one of these on their stove too. It's awesome. All the coffee drinkers say it's not like the best way to do anything.
It's just
Like
a traditional way.
yeah, like every Italian grandmother has one of these and has made coffee this way for, her entire existence and probably has the same one that she bought when she like first left her house.
Invented
But
in 1933. She might have had it her entire life, literally.
no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've seen ones that are like old as shit, like 30, 50 years old that people still use. They're totally fine. But yeah, that's the way to do it. But everybody it's not the right temperature for coffee extract. It's like it's not the best version to do it, but it's the way that they all do it.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
in the Italians Mad at Food group, they like argue that this is like the only way to make coffee, and then everybody else is like, "Why don't you try these many ways?" And they're like, "Shut up, Americans! You don't know what this is."
So this episode's tweets, I have one and a bonus one. Montez sent me hers. Joe, did you send me one yet or not yet?
No, I didn't.
All right, Montez.
You guys go.
While Joe does his, please hit us with yours.
Mine...
Tweets from yesterday, so you got recency on your side.
Yeah, so mine is so this is like a bunch of little Hot Wheels and looks like a stop motion video. It says The Fast and the Furious 2001. After a good time racing, it's time to escape from the police.
How do you want to respond to every_993?
Oof.
Montez, this is your opportunity to separate yourself from the pack.
I'm not getting separated from the pack. Listen, I'm not.
Well, you are separate from the pack in that you have 0, and the pack has points. This is your chance to join the pack.
I don't. What if I don't want to? What if I like being the underdog? What if I like just
I think you've established yourself as an underdog. I think there's this time for the underdog to rise up. Second half comeback.
As my dog just looked at me like, no, we're gonna stay here.
This is episode 4 of 10 for you this lap, so we are in the second period of this hockey game. It's time for you to make a splash.
I can't think of anything clever right now.
I found a good tweet, but I can't. But I think the person's a shitbag, so
I know that's what one of mine is.
Did you feel like that too? Okay.
So I have one that I think would be an interesting person to have on the show. The other one, Montez, we gotta say something, or we could just do the Boyd podcast for you.
I think that's perfect.
All right. Joe, did you find a real one or no?
I did find one, if you want me to do it.
Yes, please hit us with yours.
I don't know what this actually is from, but I will explain the tweet after there. I just sent it to you. Let me try to find... Oh, that's going to take forever to scroll. Caitlin, K-A-T-E-L-I-N, at Just Listen Katie, K-A-T-I 5. I think it's like, GIFs from movies that she likes. Number 193, it's Han and Giselle. We always talk about Tokyo, and it's just the GIF of Giselle sitting on Han's lap as they're driving here, and I think it's awesome. And I want to be like, this is probably our favorite scene of that movie too. Boy, do we have a podcast for you.
So the original tweet is,
go ahead.
It's the Ship of Dreams challenge. 365 days equals 365 ships. Every day post one ship you love. Remember to say where the ship is from so others can love it too. Caitlin says, I shall try. Probably going to go from love to like at some point. Gifts and pictures aren't mine, so credit to everyone who made them. Maybe I won't have to play catch up so much this time. Number 1, Spencer and Cooper from Private Practices are number 1. But number 193 is the one that is of particular note to us. Yes.
Yeah, we ship them too and really wish one day we'd get a spin-off.
We ship them too. We hope we get a spin-off one day, but of a podcast for you.
Thank you. Perfect.
So similarly, instead of looking for Han and Giselle, which I'm assuming is how you found this one, I was looking for Brian Mia wedding. Brian Mia, and there's no tweets. Because I was like, I want to see...
I actually didn't look at Han and Giselle for this one. I don't know. I was just looking at like something else.
It wasn't Big Fan Fast Furious.
It was not Big Fan Fast Furious. It was definitely something else, but I forget what it was. It wasn't that.
One of my favorite moments in these movies is in 7 when we see the secret flashback wedding to the Dom and Letty wedding that we didn't know about, right? And Letty's like, I'm not ready to die yet. You ride, I ride. You fight, I fight. You die, I die, right? Like, and we see the wedding. And I'm like, man, we don't get Brian and Mia. Like, we don't know if they were secretly married. We don't know if they would have had a wedding. We don't know, whatever. Like, I just want that for these characters. And I'm like, I wonder if anybody found that on, tweeted that out. And the answer is no. But then I was just like, how about Brian and Mia married? Just like different word. And what I found out is that Mia Sara from Legend, right?
Yep.
Also from, she's Sloane in Ferris Bueller, is married to Jim Henson's son, Brian. So there was a real life sort of famous couple named Brian and Mia.
Here we go again.
On Twitter.
Brian, Mia.
Here we go again. Man, that first movie is so good. That first Mamma Mia is so good.
It's so good.
Montez.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Oh.
What?
Every 993 liked it and followed us. That's
What?
6 points for you.
Nice. There you go. See, you're on the board.
Look at this.
You're in the pack, Montez. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I found, this is my bonus one. It's the only Brian Dizyak replying to M at Emmasaurus Rex. Emmasaurus Tex. She says, name a movie with an epic car chase scene. Brian goes, Ronin, To Live and Die in L.A., Fast 5. And my unproduced 40 years later sequel to Smokey and the Bandit, I took the classic car chase to a whole new level, literally. Read it at blacklist.com, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, dude, these 4 movies we've covered.
Are all movies we covered. Yeah, you're a perfect target audience member for us.
This is my bonus one, though, because I don't know if he's... I think it's more likely that he but if this guy responds, I'm not going to get points. I'm just putting that out there. I mean, I would love points, but I don't think. I'm gonna say something
I don't care either way. If you do get points on this one, good. Like, it's not like whatever. This is the whose line is it anyways of games.
I'm saying we love all these movies and we've talked about all of them. Boy, do we have a podcast for you. So the one I'm gonna go with my real deal is from Ritesh at Ritesh Writer on Twitter. Fast 5 to Fast and Furious 6. I don't understand this full tweet. Like, it gets to a point where I'm just like, I don't understand the reference, but I like what he says.
Okay.
Fast 5 to Fast and Furious 6 is basically the raddest live-action superhero team movie to sequel evolution because it's effectively following the same principles of world building as doing a Justice League Begins followed by a Justice League vs. Crime Syndicate. And I'm like, I need Nika for that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
But I like that he's a writer and a critic. He's got bylines of these like sites that I read. And just like, that's a cool thing. Just like, going from 5, laying the baseline, great movie. 6, getting crazy, right? So
exactly.
Spot on take. We love it. We agree. Boy, the podcast for you. This is also from a year and a half ago, so who knows?
Who knows? But we'll take it.
All right, Montez, we have one more game to play. It's called Dude, What's My Car?
Dude, what's my car? What's your car, dude?
Oh, no.
Do you want to guess clues, or do you want to or give clues or guess the car?
I'll try and give clues. I tried this last time. I had no clues to give.
It's really, really, really tough.
It is very tough.
I just typed in Gmail, Montez. That's not your name. That's not how it is.
Yeah, that doesn't work. I do that all the time. That I'll try to send something to my mom, and I'll just start typing "mom." Do you do that all the time?
In email,
instead of
what?
their name, it just instead of their name, it'll be write down your mom's name, and it'll be like, oh fuck, not mom, her actual name,
her human name.
Yeah, she has a real name other than that.
All right, so this was sent last July by Jake Freer. Subject line: car pick. What up? This is almost at the car.
Okay.
You'll be able to guess something quite comfortably. I think you have to make sure he gets this one specific part. This company only made 400 of these.
Oh, low production. Okay. Is it a DeLorean?
No, it's a Japanese car.
Okay.
Montez, did you get it?
Yeah.
Joe, it is blue.
Okay,
the hubcaps are gold.
It's blue, the hubcaps are gold. Okay, so it's a Subaru?
Uh-huh.
Nice. Thank you. This is the first time that the color actually helps.
The color helps,
Did you
man.
hear that? You're like, it's blue and the hubcaps are gold. Bingo! I knew exactly what it was. Okay, so it's like some kind of goofy STI?
Yes, and he says
it's a
Joe will be able
WRX
to
STI, what?
guess the STI quite comfortably. I think you need to make sure he gets the other parts.
Oh, okay. There's another part to it.
So here's a better way to play this game. I don't know what makes this I know what makes a Subaru. Like I've seen the commercials, but I don't know what differentiates a Subaru from another Subaru. So ask questions that'll help you narrow down what Subaru it is.
Does it have a hatch?
No.
Okay. Is it like,
I'm so glad the color made a difference. We've been playing this for like 100 episodes. Finally mattered.
Right? For like the first time ever. Like that's rowdy. Okay. I don't know, like, what kind of... Because, like, okay, so they make, like, the WRX, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the STI is, like, the souped version of that, okay? Like, that's, like, the sport... I don't know what... A Subaru Technical something. It's maybe Subaru Team something. Okay. But then, like, what's, like, a bonus? Is it, like, a rally edition?
No.
Something?
Remember, there's only 400 of these.
There's only 400. So, is it like the 10th anniversary edition?
Nope. So this is posted on hotcars.com.
Is 400 a significant number?
Not as far as I can tell. So posted on hotcars.com this January. They say this car is one of the holy grail. What is JDM?
Japanese
Drift?
domestic.
Japanese domestic market.
Yes, Japanese domestic market.
So they say this car is still one of the holy grail JDM cars, selling for several $100,000 when they come up for sale. This was so the Impreza, the WRX was built with rallying in mind.
Yes.
So then, with the input of their in-house tuning company STI, they became the manufacturer to beat in the World Rally Championships in the '90s, with the WRC as their main weapon.
Okay.
Blah blah blah. Japanese manufacturers like to build limited edition specials. The WRX has had its fair share of those. However, there's one car that clearly stood out among the hundreds of special edition Imprezas over the years, and that's this one. Considered as the holy grail among Subaru enthusiasts, this is perhaps the most hardcore production Impreza ever made. Here's why.
Tell me a little bit about why without spoiling what it is.
It only had a 5-month production run.
Okay.
It's very rare, which seems similar. It was built to commemorate the Subaru's WRC success. It has a bespoke engine, which is probably your actual first real clue. It's got a bespoke body kit. It's only available in a coupe. Another big hint, maybe. Iconic blue and gold colorway. You're welcome.
Yes, yeah, that's why, like, blue and gold color is always the Subaru package.
It's got a Bilstein suspension. It's got impressive acceleration figures. And number one, it fetched over $300,000 in the most recent auction.
I have no idea what the special edition is.
Can
you tell me?
The Subaru Impreza 22B STI.
Oh, so okay, so this is one of these. Montez.
Thank you.
Joe got that quicker than like he got to the thing. I was just like, I don't know how to play this game with another person giving. So, sorry.
It's okay. I think this is one of these things that like that everybody argues. I was just reading about WRX STIs, and like the STI guys are STI guys. Like if you like this car, Zach has one. He has it in blue. It's newer. But like if you're one of these WRX guys, like this is the car you buy. You probably had one, and you'll have one forever.
Okay, cool.
But they argue about like what's like the best edition of it, and like everybody has their own take on like which, like 22B versus like 36 whatever. Yep. They're like no, but like in this year this thing changed and like this was the best one, but like that was less reliable. But this is a super classic WRX STI. So cool. It looks beautiful. I love Subaru blue. I love the gold trim. All it needs is like the rally decals on it, and that would be right up my alley. I would love it.
Well, shout out to Jake for emailing. Then if you want to send in a car picture for us to guess, family@cageclub.me. I think we have 3 more to go, including the one that Jerry just sent in the last week or two. Oh, cool. So, we've got 6 more episodes this lap that we're going to do this probably every time. Because Montez's 35-point font drives through her notes very quickly. Yes. We need to kill that time. So if you want to email in pictures, family@cageclub.me. But Montez, thank you so much for joining us once again.
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Montez.
So you'll be back in 3 weeks. We're going to keep going forward. We're going to go to Fast and Furious 6. So you're going to be here in 3 weeks for that. Between now and then, Joe, we've got Dark Fury and the Chronicles of Riddick next week, the second installment in that side quest we're doing.
Oh, we do. Yeah, we definitely do.
Got a bonus episode, Charlie Sheen in The Wraith from 1986. And Life in the Fast Lane, minute 79, coming up then. And then Montez will be on here for Fast and Furious 6. But good stuff coming up. The Wraith I'm excited to watch again. I'm excited to see where this Riddick movie goes, because I don't remember much of it.
Same. I'm very, very excited to see where Riddick goes. And I've never seen The Wraith, so I'm excited to watch that too.
Yeah. So that is Lane Middleton's pick, so we'll shout out Lane again on the Wraith episode. But keep an eye out for that in probably early December, patrons.
Oh, and happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Well, we did that last week. This will actually, yes, happy Thanksgiving to the patrons. And happy December. No, still not. Happy late November to everyone else.
Well played, sir. I like that.
For all things Too Fast, Too Forever, go to cageclub.me, facebook.com/TooFast2Forever, or at TooFast2Forever on, get ready for this, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Email us, family@cageclub.me. Check out our Patreon page at our TooFast2Forever.com and our store on TeePublic. And come back next time for Dark Fury, watch that first, and the Chronicles of Riddick. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe, too.
And that was Ms. Montez. Oh, wait, Montez, you want to plug anything or no?
Nah, I don't have anything.
And we'll tell you all about it.
We see you again.